Fingers crossed. Here we go. I can't wait to hear how the Daily Practicum people did. And we're live. Hi, everybody. It's Sam Bennett from therealsambennett.com, and welcome to this Sam Unscripted. I used to do this all the time, every week for, 6 years, 7 years, more than that. And then I stopped, and now I'm back. Isn't it funny how life is that way? We have just finished our daily practicum, which, if you don't know, is something that we do here in therealsambennett.com. We gather every weekday from 9 to 9:15 Pacific or 12 to 12:15 Eastern, or that means for you in the globe. And it's super simple. We just meet, breathe, put our heads down, turn off the camera, work for 15 minutes, timer goes off, and we're like, yay, it happened. And we share our wins, and we have a little WhatsApp group, so it's super fun. I'm curious if I'm sorry, I'm taking a look at this. If you guys have any questions for me, any things you're concerned about, anything you're worried about, anything that's just sort of popping up for you, let me change my thing so I can see the comments. Hi, comments. So if you're watching us on LinkedIn or on Facebook or on Instagram, isn't the world an amazing place that I can just stream? Like all those years when I was a kid and I was like, I'm going to have a television show. And now I kind of do. Sort of interesting. Good. Let's see, what is happening for you all? I know there's a lot of heartbreak. There's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of things that seem disordered or just not like they used to be, and not to get all nostalgic for a past that wasn't really ever that great to begin with. But it does feel more drastic, these changes that we're seeing. Hey, Irma, great to see you, babe. And so if you want, we can do a little prayer. I just led a little prayer for another group I'm in. So I'm kind of in a praying mood. So if you're into that, feel free to do it. If not, think of it as a dramatic monologue. So let's take a breath together and just center in, letting your belly go soft. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Creator, Mother, Father, God, divine love, flowing through us, expressing as us. We are grateful for this moment in time. We are grateful for these bodies moving through this moment in time. We are grateful for this gathering of souls in this moment in time. We know that time is an illusion, and so we feel those who are from our past, those who are from our future, our own past and future selves. We feel them close by, encouraging us. We feel our ancestors saying, go. Enjoy. We feel our friends gone on saying, I love you. You're beautiful. Go. Do the thing you've been putting off. Soften your heart. Accept that you have always done the best you can. There is no mistake. There are no wrong steps. You cannot waste time. The purpose of life is to live your life. The purpose of life is to live your life. And maybe for extra credit, you can be awake for your life. So in this moment of life and awakeness, we say thank you. And a special prayer for those who are living with chronic illnesses, invisible illnesses, mental health disorders, or just carrying a heartbreak. We remember that that's everyone. we remember that everyone has a heavy burden to carry. And we use that information as a lever to increase our compassion for ourselves and for everyone else. Amen. I love praying public. La 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 la. Irma says I'm proofreading my book right now. Oh, babe. So I have been the cheerleader on the side of the road for Irma with this book for a long time, and I am thrilled that she is this close to publication and a real testament to just keep going, just keep swimming. Stay out of judgment, stay out of, I don't know, stay out of, I'm not a real writer, stay out of who's going to care about this, stay out of all of that spin that is so easy to get to, stay out of I'm too busy, stay out of I'm unwell. You know, Irma's, you know, we all deal with things that get in the way of our creative projects, of our life projects, of our heart projects. And the idea is not that we're going to wait for some perfect time, because there isn't one. But rather that we are going to allow ourselves to take advantage of this time. Today, 15 minutes today, 15 minutes every day spent on something that matters to you will change everything for you. I should have called that book The 15-Minute Miracle. And I should have called it the subversive art of getting it done. Because it seems so small and so like, really, you know, is it really gonna make a difference? I'll just do it tomorrow. No, I needed a weekend. But that weekend never comes. And those projects that are on your mind are still tapping on your shoulder. Hi, Deborah. Nice to see you, Dr. Deborah. And tomorrow is promised to none of us. So whether your 15 minutes is spent just sitting outside, going for a walk, calling a friend, giving yourself a foot rub, or writing or doodling or creating a book like Irma, boom, 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 right? Or even just admitting to yourself that you would like to write a book and spending 15 minutes just jotting down words and phrases that mean something to you. Remember that writing doesn't always have to be writing, and painting doesn't always have to be painting, and dancing doesn't always have to be dancing. When I was working full-time as an actor, my promise to myself was that I always did at least one thing per day for my career. Because, you know, acting, like a lot of entrepreneurial activities, you know, there's no limit to the amount of things that you could be doing, should have done last week, should have done 10 years ago. Like, it's not like work where you can punch in and punch out and then forget about it. No, you can never forget about it. So, so sometimes, you know, and sometimes my one thing a day was like going to an audition or, you know, having a show that day or 3 shows that day or whatever it was. But sometimes it was something subtler, and even things like, where I'd be driving in my car and I would try to speak along with newscasters, or if I could find somebody speaking with an accent, just to keep my mouth limber, not because I was good at accents, and just finding little ways to express my creativity, to grow myself as an artist. I had a whole cabaret act I would do in the car because, you know, I certainly am not going to do a cabaret act for anybody else, but for me and the Honda, 100%. And for those of you who live in LA traffic, you will know that a cabaret act in the car is, and a friend, I still have a friend, it was a wonderful playwright named Emily Beck. And she, we were talking one time about that great French phrase, l'esprit de l'escalier. L'esprit de l'escalier. So it's the inspiration of the staircase, of the stairs. And it refers to that moment where you're like, oh yeah, and another thing, slam door, start walking downstairs, and you think of the perfect thing to say. But it's too late because you've already stormed out. That's l'esprit de l'escalier. So Emily and I were talking and joking around, and we were talking about audition. She was working as an actor then too, and we're like, yeah. And then there's the actor version of that is the audition you give in the car. Why? The audition you give in the room at the audition, meh. The audition you give in the car on the way home from the audition, amazing. And we called that le spectacle de la voiture. The show of the car. Le spectacle de la voiture. So I had also le cabaret de la voiture. Good, great to see you. Is anybody have anything on their mind or on their heart or anything you want to share? Laura Lynn, great to see you. She says, I've got my new art studio almost set up and my office writing room is next. Anticipating more of my own 15-minute miracles. Love it. That's fantastic. Laura Lynn has just moved cross country. And for those of us who have moved cross country, you know what a huge deal it is. But it's also a wonderful opportunity to look at your habits, look at the way you've sort of always had things set up and go, does this still work for me? Do I want this? Do I not want this? You know, if I leave that in a box, do I need to unpack it? One says the video on LinkedIn is pretty bad. May try another platform. Yeah, I'm not sure how it all strings together technologically. Julia says, hi, Julia. Julia says, hi, Sam. Thanks for holding this space and teaching me you can do live streams on LinkedIn. My new one thing is to publish something every single day. Get it off my hard drive. Visibility wound be damned. Fabulous, Julia. Good for you. That is good and brave. And yeah, one sentence, one emoji, one thought, half of a thought, a song lyric, a snippet of a poem, a memory, any of it. And, you know, that visibility thing, I mean, it's true. Some of us got like profoundly traumatized as children or even as adults around visibility, or even I've heard people talk about past lives where they feel like they were burned at the stake for speaking their truth. And now they're a little touchy in this space and time, which I get. And, you know, I think everything is true. And I want to remind you that our concern around visibility, especially around scrutiny and inviting scrutiny, is a survival mechanism. We are tribal animals. We are pack animals. We cannot survive alone. We must live with each other in order to survive, and our animal brain knows that. So it's no wonder we are very concerned with the well-being of the group and the good thought of the group. We want to be in good standing with the group. We don't ever want to jeopardize our good standing with the group because they could put us out on an ice floe, right? So we care about people's opinions. We want to be seen as being generous, as being unselfish, as being supportive, as being useful, right? As being helpful. When you put a premium on that kind of thing, that's not, you know, people are like, oh, I'm a people pleaser. I'm like, you're designed to be a people pleaser. Now, if you are people pleasing at the expense of your own identity, but in general, we are designed to get along and to be the person who gets along with other people. Even if some people's way of getting along is being really sarcastic or pointing out everything that's wrong with everything, or, you know, lording their status over everybody, right? All kinds of ways to belong. Doesn't always have to be nice, right? Anyway, our animal brain tells us that if other large mammals are looking at us, it means they want to eat us, right? That sensation of stage fright is, again, it's a survival mechanism. It's freeze, fight, fawn, fall, flip, fantasize. I can't remember. So if you are having one of those experiences, you know, understand that your body is perceiving a threat that is real. That is real. And even if they're just looking at you like, I wouldn't wear those shoes, we feel that. We feel that, right? And everybody thinks that performers like just don't have stage fright, or, oh, you know, they're ego freaks. They just love the spotlight. And some performers are ego freaks who love the spotlight. Some podiatrists are ego freaks who love the spotlight. It's not necessarily a career-specific trait. And it's not that we don't get stage fright. We do. We get those butterflies and again, it's so it's because the parasympathetic response, right? Your belly starts to go like this, your breathing gets shallow, your hands and feet get cold because the blood is rushing to your inner organs so that in case you get a limb cut off, you'll still live. You feel like you have to pee. Like it's the same as when your body is in mortal danger. The brain doesn't distinguish between the danger of scrutiny and the danger of actually being attacked. And actors feel that too. Performers feel that too. We just have this weird compulsion to tell the story. Because that's what humans do. We tell stories. We tell stories through song. We tell stories through recounting our dreams. We make up stories about other people that we see and what we think they're up to. We are narrative creatures. Story drives our entire lives. If you are happy, find a new story. If you need to change things, change your story. And I don't mean you have to be a whole different person. I mean you have to be the person who says, I'm going to post every day, even though it makes me uncomfortable. I'm going to publish my book like Irma, even though I have concerns about whether or not I'm a real writer, or I'm not saying that was Irma's concern, but I hear that a lot. I'm going to come on live back for Sam Unscripted every week, even though I have long haul COVID. I know the powers get a little touchy when you say that word, but I've had it for over 4 years, y'all. My body, my stamina, my energy is not what it used to be. And I've been really reluctant to commit myself to a weekly thing because I don't know hour to hour how my energy is going to be. But I decided that wasn't going to stop me. So what are you allowing to stop you? What are you putting in between you and the thing you say you want? I'm going to bet that a lot of it is other people's needs. Well, they need me. Not for 15 minutes, they don't. They can wait. You know what else can wait? Your email, the housework, unwrapping a snack for a child. They can wait 15 minutes, right? What else can wait? Your self-criticism can wait. Your self-judgment can wait. Irma says, some days I had imposter complex. Sure, of course. Of course. And again, some of that is just our self keeping an eye on ourselves. And some of it's just bullshit. Julia says, ugh, that sucks. Baby, I cannot tell you. But please, if you know someone with long haul myalgic encephalomyelitis, also known as chronic fatigue, really any invisible illness, please be very nice to them because it's hard. It's hard. Life is hard. I mean, everybody has a heavy burden to bear, but chronic pain in the form of fatigue is it's rough. It's rough. I'm not going to sunshine all over it. That's rough. Sonia says, stress eating and how to finally let that go. I want to change this habit. I am not a doctor, although I have played one on TV. So this is certainly not medical or mental health advice, Sonia, but, and you may want to consult somebody about that. There may be something physical driving the stress eating. That's just sort of an intuitive hit of mine. I get curious about what would happen if the minute you feel that urge of like, oh, I want to eat that thing, if you say, great, self, you can absolutely have that thing in 15 minutes and then spend 15 minutes writing, drawing, doodling, singing a little song, doing a little dance, jumping up and down, like whatever it is, like something around that urge to eat. Just write about the stress, make a picture, just stick figures of like what's going on for you that makes that food seem like a good solution. And again, not that you're not going to stress eat, because you might. And we don't want to make that behavior bad. We just want to explore another choice and see if it has better results for us. Because we know the choice, we know where that choice leads. We know where that road goes. So my suggestion now is just to put a little guardrail down and say, great, you're behind the gate. You can absolutely take that road or any of these other roads, but wait for 15 minutes and spend some time getting our feelings out. That's what art does. Art explains our feelings to us. That's why we're storytelling animals, because we have all this going on inside of our own mind, inside of our heart, inside of our dreams that we cannot explain. We don't have the words for it. But Shakespeare did. Eugene O'Neill did. Sartre did. The soap operas do. The Punch and Judy shows do. We need to be able to look at Picasso's Guernica and say, oh, yeah, that's war. I have felt that. I know that feeling. Thank you. Thank you for explaining my feelings to me. And even advertising, like try Tide. Yes, Tide makes things clean. It's like, that's a story about hearth and home and family and cleanliness and being upright. And we love that story, right? Even though it's a story that sells us things, because anything that's selling you something is a story. It's all anybody ever buys is a new story, right? Julie says, is it okay to ask a technical question? Sure. If you have 3 screens open right now, one for each platform you're streaming on. No, I am streaming through a thing called StreamYard. And so through StreamYard, I can connect StreamYard to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can pick some other ones too, YouTube. And so I'm on the Zoom is streaming through the StreamYard to the other platforms. Isn't the world an amazing place? Catherine says, I have it too since 2020. I hear you. You're inspiring me to post anyway. Good, Catherine. Good. Good. Yeah, babe. That long haul's no joke. So we have a couple minutes. I'm so excited to see the people here. This is another, right? That anxiety of like, well, I'm telling people about it. Will anybody show up? And I was the kid who had the birthday party that nobody came to. So yeah, I get a little jumpy about these things. But again, what am I going to allow my decisions for me? Am I going to allow my fear to make a decision for me? Am I going to let my anxiety make my decision for me? Am I going to let my unwell body or mind make my decision for me? Am I going to let my family make my decision for me? Or am I going to let the creative spirit that has burned inside me since the beginning of time make my decision for me? Am I going to follow the spark and the sparkly breadcrumb? Am I going to follow that pull? Your creativity has never abandoned you. Not once, not ever. You may turn your back on it, but it never turns its back on you. And when I say creativity, I don't necessarily mean art. Some people are artistic. Some people are not so artistic, but everyone's creative. Some people express their creativity through design, through numbers, through organization, through problem solving. Creativity is innovative problem solving. That's all it is. So if you have ever doubted, like, oh, I'm not really a creative person, there's no such thing as a not creative person. And if you're wondering, like, well, where is my zone of creative genius? It's in that thing that you just do anytime because you love it. And maybe no one else in your family does it, or no one else you know does it, but you're like, oh no, I love this. That thing that whatever, when you see it, you understood it, you read it, you whatever, and you felt that instant recognition that like, I got to do that. I got to know more about that. I got to go to that, right? And it may be the thing that your family and friends are like, I'm sorry, you're spending money to do what? You're going where to do what? You're like, yeah, it's a conference of people who play soprano recorder in, Eugene, Oregon. I got to go. Good old StreamYard. Yep, that's the thing. Laurelyn says this is huge for me too. Visibility, getting my thoughts, ideas, and creative pieces off my hard drive, my phone, my journals, and out into the world. Voices in me say that there are more important things to do, tasks to complete, people to take care of, and anyway, those bits and pieces, aren't yet ready to share. Yes. So again, understand, Laurelyn, that is the creative process. That reluctance, that incubation time, that fear of scrutiny, that fear of visibility, that is all part of it. Nobody doesn't have that. Nobody I've ever met anyway. Nobody I've ever heard of anyway. And let me remind you, you are a terrible judge of your own work. Partly because you can see the perfect version inside of your mind and you are acutely aware that the thing you have done is not perfect. But the rest of us cannot see that version. We can only see what you've offered us. And quit telling us how to feel. Like if we want to love it, we're allowed to love it. We're allowed to love it even if you don't love it. Some of my most popular things are things I love least. And some of the things that I've done that I'm like, this is so good, have gotten fucking crickets. Your job is not to judge or police your own work. Your job is to do your work. I was, I'll use the word lucky. I was lucky enough this last week to be at the memorial for my friend Catherine Woodward Thomas. Some of you may know Catherine's work. She did a lot of work in the field of feminine empowerment. She was a therapist and a teacher and a healer and an author. She wrote the book Calling in the One, which is about finding your person. She also wrote the book Conscious Uncoupling, which I think Gwyneth made famous, Gwyneth and Chris. She was wonderful. She was a wonderful, generous, smart, innovative, creative, caring person. And I'm so honored to have called her a friend. And I am so glad she did her work. I am so glad she got her work out into the world. And that she did not let self-judgment, illness, life stuff. I mean, her life was just as hard and as complicated as all of ours, maybe even more so. But she obeyed the call of her creativity and put her work out so that the rest of us could benefit. That's real generosity. That's not selfish. I think of like, oh, spending time on your projects is selfish. No, it's the opposite of selfish. It's the opposite of selfish. Your creativity's never abandoned you. Truer words have never been said. Thank you very much. Julia says, really, in your view, visibility is an essential component of any artistic creative endeavor? That's fascinating. Of course, all of it is. The whole process is the whole process. It's like building a house. I mean, it's not like you start building a house and like every nail goes in perfectly and the whole thing comes out exactly the way it was inside of your mind. No, you got to get in there and do it. It's going to be weird and that thing's not going to work. And oh, turns out there's a sinkhole there. And like, you just have to deal with the disasters as they come up. And sometimes the disaster is, I'm terrified. That's part of the process too. That's not a failure of the process. That is part of the process. that is part of your human experience of getting your work out into the world. Irma says, I get one thing done at a time, especially when I'm struggling with sleep and fibromyalgia and grief. Amen, sister. One thing at a time. 15 minutes a day. I'm telling you, it'll change everything. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll be here again next Thursday at this exact same bat channel, exact same bat time. Pick up the bat phone. If you have any questions, you're welcome to email me or just be here in person and ask on the chat. I'm delighted and honored to share this time with you. Catherine says, you're back. Thank you. Me too. Me too. So only one more breath to close out this circle. Thank you so much for being here. You ready? Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you. Thank you for doing this with me. See you next Thursday.